Okay, good morning or good evening, everyone. How is your day coming along? Okay, in case you were wondering why there isn't any music playing now, okay, that's because today we are going to add sound effects to the game. Okay, so as usual, my name is David and I'll be your host for today. So, let's continue on with our live stream session today. Okay, by showing you what has changed since the previous live stream session, or what has been added. Okay, now we'll just wait for Unity to load the game. Okay, usually it might take a while for the first load. Or it might hang, which rarely happens though. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so if you recall during the previous live stream session, we have already added the sound effect for when you jump. Okay, as you hear now. Okay, so since the previous session, I've also added the sound effect for when you use your abilities, such as wave, when you attack, and when it hits. Oh, okay, so I haven't changed the code back to the default one. Okay, and anyway, okay, a new flame animation has also been added to the fireball ability. So when your fireball hits an enemy, okay, it will burst into flames. Or when it hits a wall, the same thing will happen. Okay, fireball also has a new sound effect for when you fire the fireball and when it hits a tile or an enemy. Okay, so there's fireball. Okay, let me show you wave and heavy wave. Okay, let's wait for the script to load. Okay, so it has loaded. Okay, let's go to our player script. And set the default starting ability to wave instead. Okay, let's wait for it to load. Okay, it says slasher, but it is actually wave. Okay, so now let's see, or let's listen to the sound effect for when you use wave to attack. Okay, so when you press X using wave, this is what you will hear. Okay. Okay, listen. Okay, I've also added the sound effect for when you get mana orbs, health orbs, and ability orbs. Okay, so when you, for example, when you get an ability orb, this is what you will hear. Okay. Okay, and now for heavy wave. Okay, so when you use heavy wave, this is what you would hear. And heavy wave has now been changed to affect all enemies within its range. So in a sense, it's kind of like an AoE effect. Okay, so that's the sound effect for heavy wave. Okay, let me change back to wave, the default, and let's listen to all of the new sound effects that have been added. Hey Princess Rika, how's your day coming along? Okay, so I didn't manage to survive that round. Okay, but let's try again. Okay, so if you notice, each time you use an ability, the sound effect might sound the same. So there's one way we can do something to change that slightly, and that is to modify the pitch randomly. Okay, audio dot pitch. Okay, so we can modify the pitch randomly. Okay, let's see. The pitch goes from 1 to -1 if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Okay, so over here, we can randomly decide to set the pitch as 1 from -1 to 1. Okay, so audio.pitch goes to range minus 1.0 to 1.0. And after playing the sound effect, we want to reset the pitch. Okay, so now let's test how the abilities sound like. Okay, so if I press X to attack using wave, apparently they still sound the same. Okay, so that means resetting of the pitch back to 1.0 was done too early. Okay, let's try not resetting. And see whether the pitch will change or not. Okay, let's see whether the pitch will change or not. Okay, apparently -1 is too low, so let's try 0 to 1 instead. Okay, let's see if 0 to 1 is a more suitable random range. Okay, apparently 0 is still too low, so let's try if we can set a more suitable range. Let's see, 1.5. Okay. So now we are trying 0.5 to 1.5. Okay, listen to the sound effect for when wave is fired. Okay, notice that it sounds slightly different every time you fire it. Okay, and that is what we want. So that it will give a sense of variety when you use the ability. Okay, but notice that it affected the sound effect for when you jump. So every time we play a sound effect, okay, we have to make sure that the pitch, or rather before we play the sound effect, we have to make sure that the pitch is reset to 1.0. Okay, so audio.pitch goes to 1.0. Ensure that jumping sound effect is at normal pitch. Okay, so if you notice, the jumping now is always at 1.0 pitch. Okay, now let's try listening to Fireball and see if the changing pitch sounds okay. Okay, here goes nothing. Okay, so that's the changing pitch for Fireball. And lastly, let's try to listen to Heavy Wave. Okay, so each time you fire a heavy wave, it sounds different due to the changing pitch. Okay, so what we are going to do now is to add the sound effect for when stars appear. So for that, I have quite a few raw sound effect files that we can choose and mix and edit to use for the sound effect for when stars appear. Okay, so now I'm going through all of the raw files to see which one might suit the sound effect for stars appear. Okay, that might do. Okay, let's try using this. Okay, first we'll use GarageBand to edit the sound effect. Okay, we'll call this star appear, and we'll delete this, and we'll drag this over here.